Okay, Coach, we're in the so-called rock and roll capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Set up, 10-2 stop. Snap.
On first down, Nelson fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Second and 9 now. Quick hitter here, it's complete. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it second and 6. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a second and 6.
Hey, Alpha.
Second and 6. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a third and 6. He'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence. It allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Regular.
Here we go.
I got you.
They run again on first down. Chubb. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well, but they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing gets thrown out the window.
Timing was great there and a big run. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Point it right. Regular. I got you.
Mayfield now from the 50. Complete. It's Johnson. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 35.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Here we go.
55 to mine.
They run. Chubb. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Here we go, D.
They'll run on first down. It's Nelson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On 2nd down, it's Nelson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Go! 60 Pittsburgh.
On 3rd down, Nelson. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll set up a throw. Throws right side, and that's complete. 23 yards the pickup there.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On the double.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 41. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd down now. It's Nelson, and he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
That's got to be a long day.
Hey, Charlie.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Tack McKinley made his way into the backfield.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Kill, turn it up. Kill, turn it up. Fofo.
Yep.
Mike Fofo. I got one.
On 2nd down, Samuels. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
And it's 3rd down.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hey, Haywood. Ready?
Looking to throw. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. The 40, the 30, 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
54.
Hey, Wahoo.
Get ready. Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Following the interception, Mayfield. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Come on.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
On 1st down, Nelson. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll try the left side. It's Nelson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Second and long. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook, and a great grab on the other end. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Denzel Ward right there in coverage to get the hand in. So on fourth down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Hey, alert 33. You better be afraid of me.
Mike 55. Mike 55.
To throw, Mayfield. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Mike 55.
Mayfield looks to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
That'd be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the third quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. And that'll kick and go out of bounds just outside the 15 at the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 30. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Johnson was the intended receiver. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
Mark, that is a gain of 16 to set him up first and goal.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, hey. Watch the ship. Watch the ship.
Alert, alert. Alert, alert.
Mike 55. Mike 55.
Protein spill.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time.
They'll run with Chubb. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you can darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
They'll give it to Chubb. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
The Steeler defense proving its mettle here. And now this is 3rd and goal.
Don't let him breathe. Play outside deep. Don't let him breathe, defense.
Check 50. Check 50.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Nick Chubb, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 to score as they regroup with 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Tack McKinley able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for 3rd.
But it's 3rd down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
It's now 4th down.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Taken in at the 22. That's a 43-yard punt, aided as well by a loss on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by T.J. Watt, or as his mother Connie calls him, Trent Jordan Watt.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Chubb. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down. Here's Jamie Gillendown as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded just inside the 20. A big hitter that time in the punt game. 66 yards on the boot. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Caught by Nelson. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
And the Steeler 1st down.
Set. 10-2, sir. Check right, check right. Under 10, under 10.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on 1st down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
A loss of a yard.
Come on, set. 15, 1, 15
at the 41-yard line.
Fire.
And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there.
Hey, high 7.
44, Mike, 44. Hey, defense, let's go. Both the Mike.
Now.
He'll look to throw. Johnson's got it complete. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Got it.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
X3, 218, chop. Hey, box drop.
44's Mike, 44's Mike. Check. I'm on. 44.
Lee Griffin.
They'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Denzel Ward. Well, you just kind of feel for him right now. 4 interceptions, and you can almost see through his face mask. There's a lot going on in between the ears.
There certainly is, and probably way too much, because now he's probably doubting himself a little bit, wondering what adjustments he has to make. But here's what he needs to do. Get through this game. Go to the press conference. Meet it head on.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Devin Bush gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
Hurry, hurry!
Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Mayfield down. They set up the screen to Chubb. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. This is taken at the 15. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll set up to throw. Flush to his right, and the pressure gets to him again. Takk McKinley able to record his 5th sack of the season. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
He needs better protection, that's for sure. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Pulled in at the 24. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Browns drive about to get started. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. There to stop him, Terrell Edmunds. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Check 31. Check 52. Shift.
They run it again with Chubb. And an alley to run. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Steelers' 19-yard line.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Let's get
The 16.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So Cleveland able to come away with